Welcome back to Weekly Briefing. We are here with our panel of experts. Joining me in studio, Malik Abdul, GOP political strategist, Andrew Nags, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense and now CEO of Payson Solutions International, Terry Schilling, President of American Principles Project, and Robin Martin, serial entrepreneur and member of Project 21. While the Biden administration crumbles under the weight of its own ineptness, Kamala Harris flees the country and finds really important work to do in Singapore and Vietnam. Here's what was more important to Kamala Harris than the Americans she stranded in Afghanistan.
Here in Singapore, I spent a very good amount of time yesterday with the Prime Minister. And Minister, I want to thank you as well. It has been a very productive conversation, and the Prime Minister and I announced actually 2 new efforts to ensure resilient supply chains.
Andrew, is that really more important than American lives in Afghanistan?
Look, Vice President Harris has been conducting this campaign of hiding to the best extent that she can, and that's what she's doing right now. And it is just a clear, unabashed attempt to keep her powder dry and to keep as much distance between her and what she believes to be a failing presidency, and we all can see that.
On that point, though, wasn't it Kamala Harris that said this is the Biden-Harris administration? That has never been done in the history of the United States.
This administration has committed unforgivable narrative sin after unforgivable narrative sin, which is the easy part. The hard part is formulating policy and then executing, and they've failed miserably on that front, but they cannot even describe what they want to do or what they want to sell. They've been absolutely dependent on a complicit media to assist them throughout, from the basement campaign all the way through now. And so this is just more of the same. She is hiding, and she's doing a poor job of it.
I think you're right. Malik, what do you think?
Yeah, so this is the Kamala Harris that we saw who left the race. I think they're about less than 5% of the national vote. So this is who she is. She's being exactly who we always thought that she was. And I agree with Andrew. You know, there's a reason that the Where's Kamala was trending on Twitter. Now, it doesn't matter if it's Kamala Harris. It is awkward because I can assure you Mike Pence would have been by Donald Trump's side. Even Joe Biden would have been by Barack Obama's side. Kamala Harris, literally, and it's very weird for a woman as powerful as she is, that she literally just recedes, willingly recedes to the background. And I don't think that this is helpful for her. I don't think this is helpful for her 2024 run, nor do I believe this is actual helpful for women. I don't think this is actually a good look for women, that she just recedes to the background willingly so.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I find it really interesting that she gave this speech, because she actually did speak publicly. And to me, it almost is worse that she came out publicly talking about supply chains in Asia, which is great, to Andrew's point. It's important. It's important. But it's not Afghanistan. It's not American.
She has a horrible comms team. The picture of her waving. Well, what do you mean? Why are you waving as you're heading to Vietnam? You shouldn't have done that. Like, her comms team, they suck.
Well, they've been on Twitter.
I shouldn't say that. They're not great.
they're not great. They've been all over Twitter. But Kamala Harris finally addressed the tragedy of Afghanistan, claiming it was the right thing to do. Here we go.
You all know we're at war in Afghanistan for 20 long years. Many members of our military gave their lives in Afghanistan, as did many from our allies and partners. Months ago, President Joe Biden made the courageous and right decision to end this war, because we had achieved what we went there to do.
Oh, Terry, they achieved what they went there to do.
I don't know what they achieved, though. I mean, it's been a total unmitigated disaster, and it was completely preventable. I mean, I play Risk with my kids. I have a 6-year-old, and he doesn't make these types of mistakes when I'm playing against him, and he's 6. So, look, these people are in over their head. They rely on experts to guide them, and what we're finding out is that these experts aren't actually experts at anything. They bungled this. They got the military out before the civilians. It's been a disaster.
And Andrew, I want to ask you, because I know you were an official at the Pentagon. the military knows how to do this. Like, this isn't unusual to pull out of a country. How did no one step up and actually make this happen?
Look, they certainly do, but there's an important point that I want to highlight here, because there is some growing discussion about articles of impeachment. What we need to be clear on, though, is that it is not legitimate to impeach a president for making a military mistake. What they are trying to do is characterize this entire event as the courageous decision to do the thing that the American people were uniformly in agreement on, which is withdrawing from Afghanistan. That is not what is in dispute. What the issue is the dereliction of duty, the fact that not just in execution and planning, not just in failing to account for the intelligence that was out there and the procedures that ought to have been followed, but the fact that there was a clear set of decisions that resulted in abandoning tens of thousands of Americans, certainly thousands of American citizens.
Right.
Exactly. Kamala said that she was the last person in the room. She said that they made the right decision. You say that impeachment isn't the answer. I say court-martial is.
No,
How do you abandon
Yeah.
your citizens and the people that you?
To be clear, I'm not saying that impeachment is not the answer. I absolutely did not say that. What I am saying is, as those articles are being developed and as the case is being made to the American people, we need to be clear that impeachment is not being pursued because of a military mistake.
I see.
It is being pursued because of a dereliction of duty, among other things, right? And I don't presume to understand what direction that will go in, nor do I presume to say that it's inevitable. However, as the case is being made, as this is unfolding in front of the American people, just the description and the explanation of what's going on here, we have to be clear, it is not simply a military decision mistake that was made on an option that the American people were uniformly behind.
All right. State Department spokesman Ned Price seemed to want a pat on the back for all the good work the State Department is doing in Afghanistan. Just this week, after the military pulled out, the State Department made phone calls to Americans on the ground asking them if they wanted to leave.
This is not about sending a blast via a warden message or posting something on the website. This is about placing, in many cases, phone calls to American citizens we have reason to believe are in Afghanistan and want to leave. Over the weekend, as I said, we have placed several thousand phone calls, not only to determine if we have in fact reached an American citizen who wants to leave, but to learn more about where that person is, if that person would be traveling with any family members, how we might be able to assist that American citizen who seeks to leave.
This seems like it's coming a bit too late. Robin, what do you think?
It's absolutely coming too late. How do you make the decision to abandon your citizens in a country that's being overrun by the Taliban? It just defies logic to me. It's irresponsible.
Terry, what do you make of them now placing phone calls?
Again, it gets back to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's inability to govern this country and to make the right decisions. These videos have been coming out of Joe Biden. He is obviously suffering from some type of mental problems, whether it's senility or Alzheimer's or dementia or something. There's something going on here, and he's incapable of being commander-in-chief, let alone president.
Right. I got 30 seconds, Andrew.
Yeah, be that as it may, there was a breakdown in the process, and quite frankly, it's pretty clear, and it's been on display for several months now, that the military leadership of the national security leadership, not just in DOD, but in other agencies as well, and its state, they've been focused on the wrong things. And I suspect that those distractions caused their message to be diluted as they were trying to communicate the gravity of the situation to the president.
Right, don't go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we'll discuss California's recall election. We'll be right back.